Hello, welcome back to ESA Summer Online, raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Just a quick shout out to sponsors Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring the event. Thanks a lot. Reminder, we are donating money or raising money for Alzheimer Fonden, and you can find links below down the stream. I said that the wrong way around, but you get what I mean. But now it's time for KonceptioN2, running Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets in his amazing Harry Potter cosplay, which you donated for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of donations, right? Take a look at what y'all paid for. You know, we got the look here, got the wand and everything. All right, so we're gonna have a good time.
Yep. Yeah, take it away whenever you're ready. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good. Like I said, my name's KonceptioN2. We're going to be running a Harry Potter game as well that's going to look just a little bit different than the last one. Also, I'm not going to world record, so don't hold me to that. But we're going to try and save some time. All right, time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, as you can see, this is different. This is a Harry Potter game, I'll promise you that. But yeah, this is Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets for Game Boy Color. My name is KonceptioN2, as we said. I run primarily the handheld Harry Potter games, specifically the 2 Game Boy Color games, Harry Potter 1 and 2 for Game Boy Color. And I also have recently started running Harry Potter 3 for Game Boy Advance. And the reason why I run those ones specifically is because they are very, very different, because these are turn-based RPGs, Final Fantasy style. So we're going to have a good time. First, we just got to pick up a few things. Very important that I pick the right deck of cards there, which will come into play a little bit later. But yeah, that's it. We're already out of the house. Easy as that. And we're already going to come up to the very first skip of the game. That saves us about 20 seconds-ish if we hit it. It's just a little cutscene skip here. That's pixel perfect on the screen, so I'm just going to kind of look a little closely here just to make sure I get it after the dialogue is over. That should be perfect. There we go. Had I not gotten that, there had been a long cutscene with Ron and his parents talking and blah, 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 blah. We're here to go fast. We don't need that. Right. So like I said, this is a turn-based RPG, and you can't have turn-based RPGs without some potions, right? So we're going to pick up a couple potions that we're going to use both at the beginning of the game and just also throughout the run. That's going to make things a little bit easier for us. The first one we grabbed there, that's a Pepper Up potion. Pepper Up potion is going to heal our magic points. We're also going to see Wiggenweld potions come into play. Wiggenweld's going to heal our HP, or our stamina as it's called in the game. But we're going to grab a second Pepper Up here just for some safety. Thank you guys so much for donating for this cosplay incentive, by the way. If you happen to catch my run at ESA Winter this past February, I ran the first game for Game Boy Color. We caught the incentive at the last second there, and the fact I had to change on the stream because it was so last second, and this time we had it days in advance. So thank you so much for donating. So
Speaking
if you
of donations,
yeah, please.
Are you okay if I do a couple?
Oh, please, yeah, this is a great time.
Yeah, sure, okay, thanks. Yeah, so last run, I didn't get a chance to get to it because they were too busy getting excited about World Record. But we got a $50 donation from Library Nerd, who says, I'm playing AC Origins while watching. Thanks for the chill times. It's like hanging out with old friends. And yeah, that was is a lot what these streams are like, just sitting here chilling out with a couple guys playing video games. It's a great time. So yeah, thanks a lot for the donation. And we got another donation from Damak, $35, who says, good luck to all the runners. Thank you to all the behind the scenes making this possible. And they put their $35 towards the LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga DS, any percent. Who will do the moon jump? They put it to Qui-Gon Jinn. So yeah, thanks a lot for your donations, and yeah, keep on donating.
I would love to see a Lego Qui-Gon Jinn do whatever the moon jump is. So let's keep donating towards that and all these other donations. To get you caught up a little bit, because it probably looked a little weird on the screen. So we're in a little mini game section here that has to deal with de-gnoming the garden. There's 2 mini games. They're back to back. The first one is picking the gnomes out of the garden. The second one is hucking the gnomes over the fence. Or in this case, we're gonna huck the gnomes right at the fence because that's faster. Except When that happens, because there is a 5-pixel window in the fence where you can just throw it right through, which is exactly what I just did. It happens almost every run for me. You can say I'm consistent. But the first game, you might have noticed, I didn't move at all. That's because these mini games have no... I don't want to say they have no merit, but they don't play a factor into progressing the story at all. You can win them, you can lose them. I wish you could skip them. It would save us some time. But instead of potentially having lag frames, we just run with it. Let Ron tire himself out while he picks up the gnomes. But unfortunately, the second minigame is turn-based, so we have to take our turn. We can't just sit there. So that's why we attempt to huck the gnomes as fast as we can at the fence. And there are some unique minigames in this game, we'll put it. Not to spoil it for later on, so we'll keep it to a minimum for now. But minigames are something else in this game. But we made the Floo powder travel over to what we thought was Diagon Alley, but Harry says Diagon Alley instead, so we are in Nocturne Alley. And we got another cool skip coming up here. Let me see if we can get it. There's 2 setups for it. The first setup is pixel perfect, so let's see if we can get it. Oh yes, we got it. So what we did there is what we called the select glitch, which is actually a somewhat new discovery in this game. If you press the select button, which in this game the select button just tells you where you are. So you press it, for example, there it would have said you're in Nocturne Alley. If you press the select button on exactly the point that you change between scenes, like you go through a doorway, for example, it causes a glitch that you cannot interact with NPCs and things around you. And because of that, it allows us to skip a lot of cutscenes that were previously unskippable. Now that time, there was a cutscene that would have played there with Hagrid that wastes about 8 seconds of just him talking. But because we got that select glitch right away, and you might have seen it in the text box that popped up, there's a little weird symbol that pops up in the text box. We just walk by the trigger without it happening. And now we're in Gringotts, pick up some extra cash, just to help with buying some equipment later. And we're going to pick up an extra few potions on the way up to our first battle and our first boss. Ooh, never mind, not our first battle. It's going to be our second battle because this one clipped my ankle. But we're going to just run from this one. So as you can see, encounters pop up in little blue fog clouds like that. This game, as opposed to the first one, if you happen to catch it at ESA Winter, a lot more forgiving with encounters. You can actually walk right up to them, and as long as you pause before the encounter triggers, you will pause on the point that it was supposed to trigger, but instead you will unpause and the encounter will just disappear, which is pretty good. It just disappears and resets somewhere else on the map. So this is our first boss fight, which is called the Footman. As you can see, is a knight kind of person, and it's going to look a little weird because Footman's not going to get a turn beyond that first attack. It's because we're doing a glitch here. Just going to focus a little bit just to make sure I time it correctly. And that glitch is called enemy attack skip. Now in this game, if the last action you took was to flee, which is what we keep doing with Harry, and you press A within a specific frame window, it will skip the enemy's turn altogether. Which means we can just continue to spam spells with Ron while Harry flees in order to maintain the glitch. And that's why I picked up a couple extra potions here, was so that Ron can continuously heal his own magic power. Ooh, too bad we got a miss there, a little slow. We're gonna go one more time just to make sure. No need to take risks. And then we should be able to finish him off with Harry now. Ooh, another miss. Unfortunate. Luckily, the first hit we got was a complete miss. Actually, you know what? We're gonna try this instead. Yes, okay, that paid off. So I had one of the potions that we picked up earlier in the run was a revive potion. So we can't just use a regular health potion to heal if one of our friends goes down like that. We have to use a revive potion, which the good thing about that is that when you use a revive potion, completely brings them to full health and full magic. So I considered bring Ron up to full with that revive potion. But I decided to go against it because I knew Harry would have enough damage in order to kill it without it, and we don't really need Ron to get the experience, because if you are knocked out, you will not get experience from the fight. But Ron doesn't really need it. Our focus is obviously going to be Harry, and making sure he gets the experience he needs. So it's okay that Ron kind of took the miss there, not a big deal. He's going to be a little underleveled for the next fight, but it's not the end of the world, because we still have the revive potion. But that ends our little Gringotts segment there. And we only have one more stop to make in Diagon Alley here, which is just to buy our books and have a nice little cutscene about it. But first, we're going to talk to this crate, who's going to give us a very important card combo, which we're going to go into a little bit later. Card combos are a function of the game that only Harry can use as a character, and basically if you collect witches and wizards cards in the overworld, you can use specific combos that have special effects. For example, it could be a damaging effect, it could be a poisoning effect, a healing effect, a buffing effect, and we only really use potentially 2 but mostly 1 card combos in this run. And it won't be used until the last boss of the game. So it's not going to really come into play too much at the beginning, but we're just doing all of this to get set up for success in the future. But yeah, we have a nice little cutscene here. I mean, if there are any other donations or shoutouts, now's a great time, because we just got cutscene and then a longer mini game that we don't really do too much with.
Alright, sure, thanks a lot. I can let the viewers know about some prizes that we got going.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, for the entire duration of the event, we have a couple prizes that were provided by our sponsors. We have a ViewSonic Elite XG270QG. I think I said that name right. And that's obviously provided by a ViewSonic, and that's a ViewSonic gaming monitor. With a minimum donation of $30. So if you donate $30 or more over the course of the event, so that's like you can do multiple donations over the whole course of the event, or just one big one, you can get put in to win that. And then we have our grand prize, which is a minimum donation of $50 provided by Kaspersky. It's a Nintendo Switch, which I believe is actually fairly hard to get hold of right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to win the Nintendo Switch, there's a minimum donation of $50 over the course of the whole event. So yeah, thanks a lot to ViewSonic and Kaspersky for providing those, and good luck to anyone who wants to try to win one with a donation. And of course, the donations go to a great cause.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful cause, and yeah, those are some good prizes. It's not too late to hop on the Animal Crossing bandwagon. So get those donations in for the Switch, so we can give that to one lucky donator. We're in another mini game right now. This is a flying mini game with the flying car. It's 2 minutes long as an auto scroller. It does not matter what your score is, and you can't lose. And going faster by hitting rings does not increase the speed of the mini game. So just sit back and enjoy the ride, is what I say. I actually am not even holding the controller right now because there's no point. We just kind of sit back. But the goal of the game is to hit rings and coins in order to increase your score. It's completely score based. And it might look like when you hit rings and coins and stuff like that your car is progressing up the screen, which it is, but it's not gonna. Unfortunately, the focus of the minigame is the train, not the car. So the train is at a set speed. We can only hang out for the ride. So just gotta play it there, and we're actually gonna have another boss fight pretty much right after it. And there's going to be a nifty little mechanic. And I say nifty, I mean terrible, but we'll delve into that a little bit later on. We're rounding the... Well, not rounding the corner, on the straight shot here, and there's the platform. So we're about to be finished here. All right. So we have crashed the car into the Whomping Willow. So the perspective is a little strange right now. We're walking down a tree. But basically at the base of this tree is going to be the Whomping Willow boss fight that occurs. Alright, and the Whomping Willow boss fight is fairly straightforward, but there is a new mechanic that's kind of added here, which is that, if you're familiar with the story, when Ron and Harry crash at this point, they crash and Ron's wand breaks on impact. So you might be wondering, what effect does that have on the game, right? Well, we might get to see it shortly, but Ron's wand can now backfire on spells cast. Which means that when he casts spells, there's a certain percentage, I'm not sure of what the exact percentage is, but there's a certain percentage that instead of the spell working as intended, Ron's spell will backfire and hit him instead. So the game likes to do that to us. That's a pretty fun idea. But we're just going to keep trucking through and casting this Vermilius spell in order to get it down. Ooh, we got a nice little crit there, so that helped. Whenever you see numbers pop up in orange there, that's a crit. We did have to use the revive potion, which is no big deal, and we did have to use a potion on Harry to keep him from dying. Again, not a huge deal. And I am... Oh, you know what? We don't have any right now anyway, right? So we're going to have to get a little risky here. If we die, though, it's not a big deal. We're just going to be spawned at the top of the tree. We didn't die anyway, so that's perfect. Yeah, when we die here, usually when we die, it loses us quite a bit of time. But since we have yet to go in the castle, it's not going to warp us to the hospital wing. It's instead just going to warp us back to the top of the tree. So it's not a big deal. Survived anyway.
You okay for a quick donation?
Please.
Alright, we got a massive $100 donation from Marrow, who just says less than free. So yeah, thanks a lot for your massive $100 donation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, going to the Alzheimer Fund. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that the late night / early morning crew, depending on where you are, is coming out strong. Let's keep those donations coming. In fact, I always like to try and start this up when I do a little Harry Potter run. So, obviously, big thing that is with Harry Potter, right, is that everyone tends to know what house they think they would be put in if they were a student at Hogwarts, right? So, I would love to see if we can get a little bitty challenge going to see what house is going to represent the hardest. So, if you donate, throw in what house you're going to be in. And we'll see at the end who turns out to be the most charitable. So we're in the castle now. Usually we can navigate the castle using some shortcuts. However, when we first enter it, all the shortcuts are locked. So we have to make the long slog up to the 7th floor where the common room is. And that is just by walking upstairs repeatedly until we're on the right floor. 7th floor is the top floor, 2 of course, so... Not much we can do, we just have to get there. Before we go into the common room, though, now that we're on the 7th floor, we are going to stop into the shop here and get some items that are going to help us. I'll go into that a little bit once we have everything equipped. Cool. So we bought a few things there. We bought some potions, which is just going to be safe for our next fight sequences. But also we bought 2 pieces of equipment there, which are the oven mitt and the skull cap, which, as any good RPG does, this game has equipment that increases and decreases your stats. Basically, that just buffs up our defense a little bit and our spell attack power. And we're actually not going to need equipment at all for the rest of the run. So that's not our last shopping trip, but that's the last time we're going to need to purchase equipment, which is good because the price really scales up from there. Oops. Have to talk to your bed. Alright, so naturally with any good Harry Potter game, you gotta go through some of your classes, right? That's how they kind of structure them. Go through some classes, have some wizard experiences. So first class we're gonna do is Herbology. And luckily, on our way down, we can now take some shortcuts. The first one, and the biggest one, is on the 6th floor here, which is in this little statue. And it takes us to the dungeon, which is below the ground floor. And all we got to do is walk out. Now we're on the ground floor. Skips quite a bit of time, obviously. Alright. Now we're on the castle grounds. We're going to grab another pepper up potion here for safety. And then we're going to have our class. Now, herbology is not a particularly... It's not a challenging class in terms of having to survive. The enemies we fight here are relatively weak. It's just RNG heavy as to how fast or slow it can go. So we have to fight 3 mandrakes total in order to bring them back. As you can see, they're escaping out of the pots now. We have to bring them back. There's also going to be a 4th fight that's blocking one of the mandrakes that we have to take. And all the mandrakes are pretty weak, but if they do enough damage, we'll have to heal out of some of the fights, and that's just unfortunate. So hopefully we get a little bit of good RNG here. But here's the first mandrake fight. We're looking to get at least 1 miss. Oh, great, on the first one. Now, hopefully Harry doesn't miss in return, because then that would just take us back to square one, but we'll see what we get. 1 miss means that we can complete the fight without having to heal, if it stays consistent. But usually when it happens at the beginning of the fight, I curse myself, and then I'll get a miss, or the mandrake will crit on me, or something like that, so we'll see. The game is merciless, so... Again, this one is not a big deal if we die. Oh, that was a good fight. This one is not a big deal if we die. If we die, we just end up at the beginning of the greenhouse instead of in the hospital wing, so not the end of the world. Alright, so second mandrake is up here, and we're actually going to do a quick sequence where we heal up. And we heal, basically we're healed to full after that fight because we didn't level up. When you do level up in this game, you not only get increases to your spell power and your stamina, but you also get healed completely, which is nice. So we rely on that a lot. So same exact sequence here. We're looking at miss, and we got one, so let's hopefully keep this up. All right. And okay, and now we just gotta land the last attack. Nice. All right, cool. Very good. The first 2 mandrakes are the most RNG heavy in terms of amount of turns it can take to finish the fight. So we got good luck on the first 2 ones. Now this is another unskippable fight, unfortunately, where we fight a ruby red crab. Pay very close attention to his attack animation because I think it's important. Yeah, it's a turtle-like creature that hoops fire on you, more or less. The optimal turn sequence here is going to be 4 turns if we can. He has 80 health. We do an average of 20, but our spell does between 19 and 21. So if we get unlucky and get a couple 19s here without 21s to balance it out, it could take 5 turns. But it looks like we're in decent shape. Ooh, no. We needed a 20 or a 21 there. That's okay, so it's got like 1 or 2 health left, so we're just going to use a 0-cost spell, Flipendo here, to take it out. There we go. So we got the 5 turn, a little unlucky, but not too bad. And then our 3rd mandrake, right up here. So, I live in Florida, and I'm wearing very hot clothes. So, I do it for charity, though. I do it for charity. I'm here, you guys donated, and I'm gonna sweat through this run for you guys. Alright, yeah, this fight, so we've leveled up twice. We leveled up after the 2nd mandrake, and we leveled up after that crab fight. So, we're not gonna level up again after this mandrake, but because we've leveled up twice, our health is pretty high, so the mandrake's no longer in danger of killing us, really. Being at 42 health there is actually decent to help set up a quick route later on, potentially. We'll just have to wait and see. But now, let's see, we're just hoping to not get hit by encounters. Corners are also a little bit wonky in this thing. It looks like you're gonna clear a corner, but then some random bush will just be in your way. So, walking is a little strange, but pretty clean overall. Also, an interesting thing I always like to point out here. So you think most games, when you're mashing through text boxes, you're mashing A, right? Maybe A and B, if both clear. So to mash through text the fastest in this game, what you gotta mash is B and select. If you mash A, it creates a lag frame for whatever reason. So you just avoid mashing A pretty much altogether. We mash B and select, or some people just mash B, which is sufficient enough. Oh, actually, one this way. But yeah, B and select. I'm very interested to hear other games that might do that. So the next class we're going to go to is Defense Against the Dark Arts, but we're going to make a pit stop here in the hospital wing to set up a side quest that we're going to basically take the whole game to complete. But it's going to pay off in the end, trust me. The side quest is with sick student Katie there, who wants a storybook that that comforts her while she's sick. And we basically, the side quest is tracking that down and getting the reward from Katie at the end. Fortunately, it seems like Katie is sick the entire school year because she stays in that bed until it's done, so. But here's our second class, Defense Against the Dark Arts. It has another mini game attached to it that, again, has no merit. We're just gonna sit and let it play. And this is the last of the mini games that we kind of just sit and watch. Again, we could play them. There's nothing, if you're interested in learning to pick up this run, there's nothing wrong with playing them. The only reason why I choose not to play them most of the time is that it can have the potential to create a little bit of lag, so it might waste a few frames, but it really doesn't matter. Play them if you want. Keep the run interesting. I love the breaks for my hands, so I'll take it. But yeah, this is the last mini game in the run that we just have to sit through. Alright, so that's Defense Against the Dark Arts done. Now we get to experience Quidditch. You know how you guys saw in Dill's run right before mine how exciting Quidditch was. And I'm glad to report it's just as exciting in this game too, so you'll get to see that. But while we're on our way down, if there are any other donations or plugs that we want to make, perfectly fine.
Sure, thanks a lot. Like to let everyone know about the next run coming up, the Secret of Evermore run. They currently have a bid war going for the hero name. Colin Bolts will name the hero of the game, whatever you choose, within a certain character limit. Currently, we have 3 options available. We have Deaf Mike or Deaf Mick at $10, Pow at $20, and currently the leader Dio at $85. So if you want to support one of those name choices or put your own in, donate now. You need $85 or, well, more than $85 to get your whatever new name you want picked, or you can support one of the other options. So yeah, get your donations in for that. I think it's a fairly long run. Oh no, it's an hour and a half. But yeah, so if you want to name the hero of that game, get your donations in. Thanks.
Absolutely. And yeah, so that was Quidditch. You blink and you might have missed it. Quidditch goes very quick in this game, but it's actually kind of fun. You basically are just doing your best to navigate around the scene. There's a little meter at the bottom that shows you the snitch's placement, and the goal, especially in a speedrun format, is just to get to the snitch as fast as we can. Nothing else to report mechanically beyond that. But, as you might have just seen, Ron's backfire happens again. Ooh, actually, I forgot to mention, every Ron backfire that we see in the game, I'm going to be donating $5. So there are 2 scripted backfires in the game. So that's a minimum of $10, and then if there are any more combat backfires, it's only going to add to the donation. So we're going to be a minimum of $10. But yeah, so Ron's wand backfires there on Malfoy. He's barfing up slugs, and we have to fix this for him. Unfortunately, especially because Hermione is one of my favorite characters, this is really the only instance that we are going to be working with Hermione in combat. This game is very Harry and Ron centric, and I think that's probably I think it's probably balanced out in Harry Potter 3. Oh, unfortunately, we hit an encounter there. Probably balanced out in Harry Potter 3, which is a very Harry and Hermione centric game, and Ron plays little part in it. So, but unfortunately in this one, not as much Hermione action. What we're doing now is we're helping Hagrid collect ingredients for a tonic for Ron to stop barfing up slugs. I think I just barfed up a slug. So we have 5 ingredients to gather in his little herb garden here. We've gotten 3, and we're gonna head on over to the boss of the area, who's gonna give us the 4th one. This is again the only fight that is structured for us to have Hermione in it. Basically, we got a little unlucky at the beginning here. Hermione got stunned on the first turn, so what I did was I went back to that enemy attack skip glitch from before, and I just kept fleeing with Harry until Hermione was unstunned and kept continuously skipping the Venomous Tentaculous turn here. And we're doing the very similar thing. We're letting Hermione do all the damage with Incendio, and then we're letting Harry skip. Alright, we're actually going to try to... Actually, no, we don't have the... It's not going to be able to happen because we didn't take damage. We do have the potential of setting up something a little bit later on to be a little bit quicker, which is that we keep Harry's health low in order for a purposeful death to go faster later on. So if we had taken damage from that first hit as Harry, then we could have set it up, but because we didn't, there's not really much we can do about it now. So we just had to kind of take the fight as is, and Harry levels up after that fight, so his health is to full. So that was our 4th ingredient. And we're gonna grab our 5th on the way. We got a little swag trick here that I'm gonna do, which is basically as long as you hit something from the side while you're moving, your feet animation stops, and you kind of just glide across the ground there. Little swag Harry action. Alright, so that ends that little segment here. This whole next section, there's quite a few skips in there. Again, you're not going to really be able to tell on the screen unless you know what to look for. But I'll point them out when we're making them happen. But first, remember back to when we flew a car to school, and unfortunately, that doesn't come without its repercussions. So we do have a little detention moment going on, which is helping Professor Lockhart, who is our new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, sign his fan mail. Kind of boring, kind of lame, but we gotta do it. You can't just fly your car to school as a 12-year-old. It's gonna have consequences. But we're gonna take a shortcut here. Statue, or to make that go a little bit faster. We're gonna try and talk to him from as far away as we can, just to make the walking animations a little bit faster. Because whenever they walk in cutscenes, they walk at half speed for whatever reason. Also worth mentioning, because I get asked a lot how I'm playing this game. So I'm playing it on actual hardware. I'm using a GameCube with the Game Boy Player attachment and a cartridge of the game plugged in. And then I just have it hooked up to a monitor here. But a little bit strangely, as opposed to the other people that might run on console, I actually use a PlayStation 1 controller with a PlayStation to GameCube adapter in order to run, because the PlayStation 1 controller, in my opinion, is a superior controller to run with as opposed to the GameCube, which is just kind of brutal. Yeah, we didn't get it there. But, so, we could have tried that select glitch there, which would skip the cutscene, but there is a nice backup here, which is when we're on the grand staircase there, if we move just 1 pixel to the right, we skip a roughly 20-second conversation with Nearly Headless Nick the Ghost there, in which he tells us that his Death Day party is tonight and he wants us to come. So we get the select glitch, we don't have to do the 1 pixel setup, but since we didn't get the select glitch, we did it and it worked out just fine. Ooh, Malfoy bumped us. But yeah, come on. Ooh, unlucky. Oh my gosh, I can't grab it. There we go. That was really, really slow, unfortunately. Those can go really fast, but Got a little unlucky with Malfoy bumping us out of the way, and it couldn't recover quite fast enough. We are going to try to get the select glitch here as well. Didn't get it here. We actually have four doorways we can do it on the way in order to skip a mini little cutscene, so let's hope we get it. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. So not in the second door right there. Right here. Nope. One more chance. Let's see if we can get it. Like I said, it's frame perfect, so... Ooh, nope, we didn't get it. So there's a little mini cutscene that's going to happen here with Harry, Ron, and Hermione. That if we had gotten the select glitch, we could skip all this dialogue, basically. That's all it does. But this one's relatively quick. I think it loses 5 seconds or so not hitting that trick. Not a big deal. But we are on our way to Nick's Death Day party. If you're more of a fan of the movies than the book, you're not going to really recognize this. It didn't really make it into the final cut of the movie. But if you read the book, you'll remember that this is a thing. However, things are going to go a little bit differently than what you might remember, because we got a mini game here. After we skip through some dialogue, of course. So, we're going to head over here to start the mini game. And anyone like bowling? Bowling is a pretty fun game. That question is going to be relevant in a second. Just you wait. But yeah, my favorite part of the Harry Potter books is when Harry goes bowling with skulls. There's a bowling mini game in this game. And since, again, it's a turn-based game, we can't skip it or wait, just let it go by. We actually have to bowl through 10 frames. So, objectively, we are trying to bowl strikes if we can. On everything but the 10th frame, because if we bowl strikes on the 10th frame, then we have to do 3 balls instead of 2. So that's slow. But we're going to try and hit some strikes here. Hopefully we can hit at least one. Save a little time. That one was really close. The second shot doesn't matter, you just let it sail. It's actually faster to not hit pins sometimes, because then you can get that spinning animation. Split there, so let's just, yeah, wherever it goes. Yeah, it's really hard to line it up to get a strike. It's very difficult. It's not, it's kind of like, I would say it's close to pixel perfect, but it's probably like a few pixels. That's another split. Come on, let's get one. We gotta do it for the people. Come on now. No, that's a terrible one. Oh, wait, no, it's... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was it. Never mind. All right. 2 more shots here. Come on. For the people. Oh, so close. All right, 1 more shot. For the people. Oh, that one was terrible. Oh, well. No strikes. I tried. But just like in real life, I can't bowl. The 10th frame, we actually want to hit as little pins as possible, so you're going to see me go to the edge here. We don't want to gutter ball, because when Harry gutter balls, he throws a tantrum, basically, as an animation. I was really trying not to hit pins there, so that was kind of slow. He just gets upset that he gutter balls, so we don't want to gutter ball, we just want to hit as few pins as possible. Alright, there's another key skip here that actually I'm going to save for, because if it goes wrongly, I can actually soft lock the game. But we got it first try. Nice. First try. This is called Voices Skip. During this segment, Harry is actually hearing voices of something in the walls that's calling to him. And while we're walking this whole time, every few steps there would be dialogue options going on. So by performing that skip first try, we actually probably saved about 20 seconds of text boxes. And what we did was we paused on the exact pixel that would trigger the first text box. And then we just enter our menu, exit our menu, and then exit the pause screen really fast. If we don't do it fast enough, the game soft locks on the text box in your pause menu and you can't get out of it. But we performed that pretty well, so that was pretty good. That's probably one of the hardest tricks to execute in the run, in my opinion. All right. A new day, a new problem. This is a particularly slow section. We're just going to be visiting our History of Magic class, which is basically just a lecture, and we have to go to the library to get a book. And then we will be introduced to Moaning Myrtle for the first time. And we'll have to make her not so mad at us. But nothing of huge note going on here. Ideally, there won't be any combat if things go well. It's just fetch quest into another fetch quest. So if we got any other donations or plugs to do, now is a great time.
All right. Just a quick one. We got a $10 donation from Jippy57, probably just Jippy actually, who says, "Go for Ravenclaw." So I believe, like you said earlier, I think Ravenclaw is now winning, obviously.
Yeah, we got our so that's awesome. We got our first donation, Ravenclaw representation. Love that.
Yeah. So yeah, Ravenclaw's in the lead. So if you don't want Ravenclaw to win the House Cup, is that what it's called?
Yep, the House Cup.
All right, perfect. Get your donations in. So, yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, so that's 10 points to Ravenclaw, but that's a low bar. That's a low bar. I think this is anyone's game, right? So let's get some donations in there. I'm gonna tell you all. Like I said, I'm gonna be donating for every Ron backfire that happens, and that's gonna be a minimum of $10. And I'll also throw in that I am a representative of the Gryffindor house. So basically, I'm telling you that $10 is gonna go to Gryffindor. So somebody better stop me. Alright, so we are actually going to pick up one item in this classroom, which is a Witches and Wizards card that's going to be important for the card combo we use in the end game here. That's the only other point of note. We just go to the library, fetch a book, come back. Alright, and then we just mash through this. History of Magic, as boring as you'd expect, actually. So, as boring as you'd expect. Alright, again, just navigating through with shortcuts. And yeah, we're gonna go check out Moaning Myrtle here. I'll do a couple of shout outs here so we can keep things moving and so I don't clog up too much time on the end. Just a shout out in general to the Harry Potter speedrunning community, especially, like I said, I focus mainly on the handheld portions of that. But I'm a part of quite a few speedrunning communities, and I work with a few other marathons as well. And they're some of the most professional people that I've worked with, and some of the most kind and supportive people in terms of not only new runners, but current runners, and even just people who are fans of the streams and might not run on their own. One of the most welcoming groups of people I've ever met. So even if you're not exactly sure if you want to learn to run the game on your own, I highly suggest either joining a Discord or we have a stream team called Dumbledore's Army that you can just follow and see who's online, and you'll see that everyone's quite a welcoming bunch. So come on by. But what we got going on here is, so Moaning Myrtle refuses to talk to us. We're going to talk to Hagrid to figure out what we can do to talk to ghosts effectively. And weirdly enough, ghosts like lilies. So we're gonna go get a lily. Well, just not a particularly exciting part of the run, unfortunately. And unfortunately, so what Hagrid tells us there too is that McGonagall, one of the professors, also really likes lilies, and we're gonna go get one from her office. But if we tried to go to her office without talking to Hagrid, the lily's not there. So we have to walk all the way down to Hagrid's just to walk all the way back into the castle. But in McGonagall's office, we are gonna make a second grab there for another antidote, which, as you might be able to guess, cures us from poison. That'll come into play later on. Fetch quest complete. We give a ghost a flower. And she loves it. Also like to shout out the little pixel portrait sprites, because some of them are truly wonderful looking. Like Moaning Myrtle's especially there is is really nice looking. Another pointless thing that we're gonna have to do is we have to have a conversation with Ron and Hermione about what to do next, and they only will talk to us in the Gryffindor common room. So we have to walk all the way up to the Gryffindor common room, unfortunately, just to have a conversation, to walk down like 4 more flights of stairs. This particular part is little unfortunate. If anyone wants to figure out how we can skip through some of this, would love it. But we get to follow this up with some exciting Quidditch after, so get ready for that. There we go, there's our conversation. And we have to go talk to a teacher so we can go to the library to get another book. Isn't school wonderful? Walk down the steps here. Another shout out as well. I shouted out kind of specifically the Harry Potter handheld speedrunning portion. We actually do have our own Discord, and there are separate Discords for like console speedruns versus PC versus handheld. So if there's a particular version, for example, if you were really stricken by Dill's world record that he just got, which was an exceptional run, you can join the Harry Potter speedrunning Discord for that. But if you like this as well, there is a separate Discord. So we can hook you up with that if you just go to the speedrun.com page for any of the handheld versions of the Harry Potter games. There'll be a link in the Discord section in order to get you here. Or feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to send you a link myself. This is Colin Creevy, by the way. I don't think we've seen him yet in the run. He loves taking pictures. That only matters a little bit for this run, and we'll get to it a little bit later. Very shortly. So we go to Lockhart to get permission to go to the restricted section of the library to get a book on how to make the Polyjuice Potion. That's what's going on here. But now Harry's got another Quidditch match. This Quidditch match is my least favorite, by far, because there's another added factor here. If you're familiar with the story, there is a section where Harry is playing Quidditch, and there is something called the Rogue Bludger. And this bludger attacks Harry relentlessly, kind of like a heat-seeking missile. And that plays out in this version of Quidditch. And it also has a little factor. If you somehow dodge the Rogue Bludger the entirety of the match and don't get hit, the game will it will freeze. It might soft lock, it might even hard lock, actually. It might just like freeze the game completely. So what we're gonna do is when the match starts, we're gonna get hit by the bludger right away on purpose, and then make our way over to the snitch as fast as we can. All right, there we go. All right, that wasn't too bad. We had to wrestle with Malfoy a little bit there. Also, point of order, you might have noticed already, every Quidditch match we've played has been against Slytherin. We don't play against the other houses at all for whatever reason. I don't know why. But we always play against Slytherin. I guess it's just a grudge match, Harry versus Malfoy. Shout out to the best animation in the game, which is when Harry's arm does this. Ew. There's Colin again, taking his pictures. Hope nothing bad happens to him. He's just a good kid. There's Dobby, truly terrifying. Dobby is kind of terrifying in most of the game versions, but he's especially terrifying in this one. Just looking like a little gremlin there. His portrait sprite isn't too bad, but like his overworld sprite leaves something to be desired, unfortunately. And then there's our friend Colin, who succumbed to paralysis from whatever is attacking the castle. This is actually important for the run a little bit. If you remember way back, I told you that we're starting a side quest that was basically going to take the whole part of the run. which was Katie is sick in the hospital wing and she wants a storybook from her childhood. We don't know where the storybook is, but to kind of spoil a little bit what's going on, what the sequence of event is here, she tells us that she left the book in the Gryffindor common room. At some point, we haven't done it yet, we're going to go into the Gryffindor common room, and we're going to look on the table. She said that it's there, that it's on, but it's not going to be there, but there is going to be an NPC who will tell us that the last time the book was seen, Ginny Weasley had it, which is Ron's sister. What is meant to happen in the game is that Ginny will give you the book in exchange for a picture of yourself, meaning Harry will give you for a picture. The only person that can take pictures in the game is Colin Creevey. However, as you just saw, Colin has been paralyzed. That means we can no longer get a photo taken in the game, which means whenever we continue with the side quest, Ginny will just give us the book for nothing instead, which saves us quite a bit of time. But we'll get to that a little bit later. For now, we are in potions. We need to get ingredients for the Polyjuice potion that we are brewing. So we throw a firecracker in Snape's classroom and we head to his potion stores, which is just a gigantic snaking hallway for no reason at all. You'll see me hug the tops of walls there. It actually shrinks Harry's hitbox for the encounters to just his feet. So that's why we hug the tops of walls there, because it makes it so Harry has a really hard time getting hit unless it's going to be on his feet. But like I said, encounters are a bit more forgiving here. You can kind of just pause out of them like I'm going to do here, and then look, voila, they're gone.
You alright for a donation?
Absolutely.
Alright, we got a $10 donation from Andy Trout, who says, nobody is taking Gryffindor down.
That's right, oh boy.
So now we're at $10 for Gryffindor as well as Ravenclaw. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Where are Slytherins at? Where are Hufflepuffs at? Let those colors shine. Let's go. Alright, so earlier I had mentioned trying to set up something based on Harry's health for an encounter later on. We're actually getting ready to enter the dueling club, which we fight Malfoy, and the fastest thing to do instead of fighting Malfoy is actually let him kill us, because it has no effect on the story progression at all. If we had not leveled up at the Tentacula and had instead died as Harry, because he doesn't really need the experience, then Harry would have came into this fight with 1 HP, and all I would have needed is 1 hit from Malfoy to take him down. Fortunately, Harry has full health. So, at minimum, it's going to take 2 turns for Malfoy to kill us. And Malfoy has a habit of missing, or using... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, or using low-level spells that don't do a ton of damage, but that was a low-level spell that just missed entirely. Oh, and we get 2 that miss. I should just stop talking. Absolutely cursed. Okay, there's 1 that hits. So this could have taken 2 turns, but instead it's going to take 5 turns. There we go. Commentator cursed myself. Now, after this little cutscene here, we're going to be chasing that NPC who just ran. His name's Justin. We're going to be chasing him in order to kind of apologize for what just happened. Basically, he thought we were coaxing the snake into attacking him, but in reality, we were telling the snake to back off. But there's a few text boxes there that we can skip if we get the select glitch on this door transition. It's one of the harder ones for me for whatever reason, so hopefully we can get it, but if not, it only wastes like 3 text boxes worth of time. Nope, we didn't get it, but that's okay. So that's all. It doesn't really... I think it saves 2 seconds maybe if we had gotten it. Really not a big deal at all. As you can see, he's just running through the hallways here. I don't know what that NPC was doing, just hanging in the corner, but... And unfortunately, he's paralyzed as well. Sad. Ooh, don't want to scratch my scar off. Almost scratched my scar off. It's a little painful. I feel like we get some Voldemort action coming near us somewhere. I don't know. So we have to go see Dumbledore, because even McGonagall's like, all right, you're always around when people are paralyzed. Like, are you doing this? So we gotta go talk to Dumbledore. And he unfortunately has some more long snaking hallways in order to get up to his office with encounters that can block your way. So if they get in our way, we are going to pause out of them, but we can unfortunately just get sniped and have one land basically directly on us. There's nothing we can really do about it. This is Fox the Phoenix. And rip Fox the Phoenix. But also reborn, as phoenixes are wont to do. Alright. So next section here is going to be the Polyjuice Potion section. Some key comedy moments happen here for sure, which we'll talk to you a little bit when we get here. But this little section is completely RNG dependent on if it will go fast or slow, based on our little match with Crabbe and Goyle that we're gonna have. It's very similar to the Malfoy fight, in that we are going to just flee repeatedly in order for Crabbe and Goyle to kill us as fast as possible. The main difference is there's two of them, and we're also going to have Ron with us. It's going to be a 2v2 fight. Again, it can take as little as 2 turns, but it can take even a lot more turns, because as much as Malfoy just missed us, I always have felt that Crabbe and Goyle's miss percentage is really elevated, and I don't know why, because they miss a lot. So hopefully that doesn't happen to us. They are actually here near the dungeon, and it actually blocks off our fastest shortcut because we cannot approach Crabbe and Goyle from behind. So if we tried to take the shortcut from the 6th floor to the dungeon, it would say locked, which is why we walk all the way down to the 4th floor and then take the secondary shortcut. It's a little slower because we don't have a choice, unfortunately. Back in the dueling room. And we're gonna fight with Crabbe and Goyle. Hopefully we get a better RNG than we did with the Draco fight. Alright, let's see what they do. Oh my god. I'm absolutely cursed. I am just super cursed. Alright, well at least that one was a high damage spell on Ron. The best thing they can do is target one individual and take them down first. But they hardly ever do that. They don't have the smartest AI. Alright, so we got it in 3 turns, but of course the first turn was completely wasted on 2 misses. So we give them cakes as a reward, they pass out. We pluck a couple hairs, and bada bing, bada boom. We're going to be changing into them soon. Now you might have noticed... Yes, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're right, bro?
Yeah.
Alright, we got a bunch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go.
Okay, we got $10 from Ryan, who says, "This game brings back so many memories. I had so many hours on it and played it over and over as a kid. Thanks for what you're doing." And thanks a lot, Brian. And then we got a $11 donation from Anonymous, who says, "Just doing Hufflepuff things." So that puts Hufflepuff into the lead with now $11. And they put that donation towards the demise back in time for Skyward Sword any%. But we also got a $20 donation from Marrow again, who says, "Slytherin, the only true house."
Oh boy.
and they put their donation towards the file name Dandy for the Skyward Sword any %. But to give you a running tally, that puts Gryffindor and Raven at $10 each, Hufflepuff at 11, and Slytherin now in the lead with 20.
Well, you all coming out. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. But this is anyone's game. Like I said, after the end of the run, there's a guaranteed 10 spot going to Gryffindor here. So,
all right, I'll keep that in my notes. So brackets plus 10 for Gryffindor.
Yeah.
So let's say Gryffindor and Slytherin are tied right now with your $10.
Mm-hmm. So who's gonna overtake? It's anyone's game. Anyone's game. So just then, you might have noticed I was trying to do some select glitches on some doorways there, which we were actually able to do, and we were able to skip a cutscene with Snape that happens there. That saves about 25 seconds, so we were able to get a nice another little cutscene skip for us. You might have also noticed that Hermione turned into a cat instead of a person, which happens in the book and the movie, but it also, in this game, includes the only quote-unquote voice line, which is a cat meowing, which we're going to get to hear a little bit more of just right now. Alright, cat people represent. Couple more meows coming. Go. One more. There it is. Alright. Very good. So, now we're entering what I call the gauntlet of this run. So there's a nice little slow section in the middle there. You know, nice and calm, not a lot of RNG in terms of the only thing we're really worried about is dying as fast as we can. This game ends on basically 3 consecutive boss fights, and they all, in their own way, are very annoying and can really affect the time of the run, very, very harshly. First, we have this weird Valentine's Day section, though, for whatever reason. Does not serve a plot point whatsoever, and we just leave it right away because it doesn't matter. But basically, if you're familiar with the story, the 3 boss fights I'm referring to are Aragog, the giant spider, Professor Lockhart, which we'll get into a little bit more, and the Basilisk, which is the main enemy of the campaign and game thus far. We use different strategies for each of them, and you're gonna see why it's kind of annoying shortly. But first, we gotta get there. So first off here, as I mentioned, we gotta progress the storyline by talking to the NPC in order for him to tell us that Ginny has the book, which he's right here. So we talk to him very quickly as we walk by and head down the stairs. And then we have a nice long cutscene where we think Hagrid is the one who opens the Chamber of Secrets. Yada yada yada. This is all just cutscene. I don't even get to move here. We're just mashing text. If we clear Xbox frame perfect, we can get a glitched Voldemort here. Let's see. Oh, well, we got the glitched Hagrid instead, so that was weird. Half of his body's missing. And then he kind of just walks into him. Very strange. Alright. So we talked to the NPC there. And now, on our way back down, we're going to make our last shopping trip for the game that kind of gets us through the end game. All we're gonna be buying, though, is some Grand Wiggenweld potions for health. Don't really need to worry too much else besides that. Just have to get through this cutscene first. And then we got some we were meant to head down to the Quidditch pitch in order to play Quidditch, but we're gonna find that game gets canceled. Alright, so we basically max out on buying as many potions as we can, which is only like 4. It's not a lot, but everything helps, especially the last fight of the game is very unpredictable. But yeah, if we got any other donations or and other plugs, now we just got to make our way to the Quidditch pitch and all the way back. So now is a great time.
All right. We got a $15 donation from, I'm going to mess this name up, Marjana, I think.
Sounds right.
Something like that. That was $15, and they put it towards Hufflepuff. They said, well, you got me here, Hufflepuff Pride. So, by my maths, that puts Hufflepuff, I can't even say it, in the lead with $26. So that even with your potential $10 later, it's still not enough. Hufflepuff is in the lead, $26. They also put their donation towards the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga 80% Moon Jump. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, $15 to Obi-Wan Kenobi now. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Is it going to be Obi-Wan? Is it going to be Qui-Gon? Could it be Jar Jar? I don't know. I don't know how the game works. Hopefully it could be, but we'll see.
I will check. Actually, that's a good question. Who can it be?
Who can it be?
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, and TC-14. I guess it's a droid.
yeah, it's one of the droids that's in the very, very beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Right. Okay. There you go then. Those are your options for who's going to do the moon jump.
Not enough Jar Jar representation, so let's see if we can get some in there for that. Again, don't even know if it's an option, so if it's not,
no,
forgive me. But I just want it to happen. I want it to be real.
Please don't put your money towards it. It's not an option.
All right, but yeah. So all we got left here is we're mashing through some cutscene. And we're actually gonna get ready to hop into the Invisibility Cloak here, which basically is just gonna make us look like a Halloween party level ghost, for lack of a better term. Like you cut 2 holes out of a sheet so you can see through it. But we're gonna make our way down to Hagrid's here, but we are going to progress our story yet again on the way. As you can see, the castle is dark, and when the castle is dark, that means we cannot use any of the shortcuts because they are locked, so we have to walk down the stairs normally. Also, nobody is supposed to be out of bed at this time, which is obviously why we're using the Invisibility Cloak, but for some reason, Ginny Weasley is out here. And we're going to talk to her so we can get the storybook. We finish that quest a little bit later on still, so... But yeah, I don't know why Ginny Weasley would be out of bed at weird hours. It doesn't seem to add up, so... I don't know. She's probably fine. Anyways, we're gonna head on to Hagrid's. Because Hagrid's is the place to be tonight. Now there is... So we got some cutscene here. There is a potion that we are going to grab for safety that's in Hagrid's hut. We won't be able to grab it until after the cutscene, but it's another revive potion just in case our Aragog fight goes a little bit poorly and one of us dies between Harry and Ron. So just to be safe, a little marathon safe. We're also going to save too, just in case things go really, really poorly. I'll actually explain the Aragog fight a little bit ahead of time because when I'm doing it, I'm going to be very focused, so I probably won't be doing a lot of talking. But the Aragog fight is going to be heavily using the enemy attack skip from before, where we skip turns, but we're going to be using it in a different way. After we gave the flower to Moaning Myrtle, she gave us a spell called Mucus Ad Nauseam, which is a spell that poisons a target. It doesn't do damage right on the casting, but it poisons the target every turn. But what we're going to do to kill Aragog, because Aragog is a lot higher level than we are currently, is we are going to poison Aragog whenever we have control. Then we're going to enemy attack skip over and over again in a chain. And what that does is it continually checks to see if it's Aragog's turn, but if it was meant to be Aragog's turn, it will do the poison damage and then check, but then we continuously skip Aragog's turn, so it just stacks the poison damage over and over again. The the reason why I'm gonna have to focus is that I have to do specific frame presses in order to make that happen. Geez, this is really unfortunate. This is like the worst encounter you can get. Harry is taking a lot of damage, and he keeps getting stunned. Okay. All right, that's really, really unfortunate. Might even have to. I'm gonna save and not heal here because I really want to save the potion for the basilisk fight later on. But I might have to heal if things go really poorly. But we're gonna save here. All right, so I have to chain together in like not frame perfect, but small frame windows over and over again, and it'll take like 20 something in a row. I think it's like 24. I forget the exact number. So I'm just gonna kind of focus here on this fight in order to chain them together and save as much time as we can. Luckily, this one's a little bit more forgiving than another chain that we're gonna do after this. Aragog always starts off with this web attack, which paralyzes both Harry and Ron simultaneously. Ooh, all right. So this is just slow. If he does it again, doesn't really matter. It's fine. I knew Harry was gonna die there, which is why we get the revive potion. Oh, except I forgot that Ron was stunned last turn. We have to reset, unfortunately. That was an unfortunate luck. So we're gonna try again with this strategy and see if it works out. We're not resetting the run, for just to be clear. We just have to reset from the save point, which is not too hard. Yeah, hitting that encounter and having that much damage done to Harry really makes things difficult. I'm going to try again one more time just to make sure that we can do it without healing. Again, really want to save as many of these potions as we can, but if we have to use one, I will. We have backups in place if need be. Let's see what Aragog gives us this time. Same structure as so far. Let's see if it goes again. Wow, same exact thing so far. Weird. Everything's the same. So instead of healing this time, we're actually going to enemy attack skip. So now, when we heal Harry, he will get a turn instead. And then we enemy attack skip again. Now with Ron, we're going to poison. And then focus. Too early again. Keep jumping the gun. All right. So like I said, that one's a little bit more forgiving. You might have saw once or twice I actually had to go and escape again. When you drop, if you happen to drop a chain on Aragog here, you will usually get the option to be able to flee again in order to reset the chain. So it's not too bad. But we're going to do a very similar tactic with Lockhart here coming up. And that one, Lockhart is the real challenge in this run, because this one, you have to chain together several attacks again. 37 this time without stopping. And it's a lot worse if you end up dropping the chain. So we're gonna save again before that, obviously. But that one wasn't terrible. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Even though we had to reset once, we made it happen. So that was one of our last 3 fights. So we have 2 more big fights and decently close to time. Not, you know, we still got like 10 minutes or so, maybe a little less, depending on our luck. So we're going to make our way up here, and we're gonna attempt to go into the bathroom, but we're gonna get stopped by McGonagall, who would be getting us in trouble for going out after hours. But unfortunately, because Hermione was paralyzed, she views it as a play to try and go see her in the hospital wing. So fortunately for us, that works out. It works out more than one way. 1, we don't get in trouble, obviously. But 2, if you recall, our side quest that we started so long ago with this magic storybook ends in the hospital wing here. You can see Katie's not there, but if we pause and unpause, she's magically there. And her reward for finally turning in that book is the spell Petrificus Totalis, which is a paralyzing spell, which is going to be crucial for this Lockhart fight here. I'm going to save before. We're going to mash through some text, and I'm going to need some big time focus, and then I can kind of explain what's happening after that. So just some focus time here. Sorry for the quiet, just really focused. Alright, we did it. We did it without dropping the chain too, which is really good. So basically, you might have seen sometimes there are longer gaps in between others, and that's actually me hitting the frame too early, which hitting the frame too early is fine, because then it just resets the frame count. If you hit the frame too late is when you're going to be in trouble. But what happened there was we used a 1-turn stun attack with Ron. He has a special ability where he literally throws his pet rat at it. And it stuns for 1 turn. Then we poisoned with Harry. We then cast Petrificus Totalis with Ron, and that can actually backfire with Ron's spells. Like, he can backfire on that and it hit himself instead. So we really don't want to see that. That's like the worst spot to get a backfire. But we didn't get it, and then basically we chained together 37 straight, not frame perfect, but small frame windows in order to skip Lockhart's turn 37 times for him to take damage. And we did it. That's the hardest thing in the run. We have one more fight with the Basilisk here, and the Basilisk is a very interesting fight. Let me go back all the way to the beginning of the run here, where I talked about that card combo we got from talking to a crate outside the bookstore. That card combo is a card combo called Weak Point. What that does is when it's used in a battle, it makes it so damage, the enemy becomes very vulnerable to damage. So it basically, not double, but it takes a certain percentage more damage than it normally would. So we are going to use that on the Basilisk because, again, the Basilisk is very much a higher level than we are currently. Oh, another. Oh my gosh. I can't believe the 2 times I hit an encounter at crucial points are this stupid same rat. When those blue rats are always going to be faster than us. That's why it's so annoying. But we're going to use that weak point card combo. Another interesting thing that occurs in this fight, and you'll see as well, is that Harry is not able to use spells whatsoever. He can only use the Sword of Gryffindor. Save here, so just in case this goes poorly. So we're going to be playing triage a lot in this run because mostly if we cannot take 2 hits from the Basilisk. So if the Basilisk hits us once, we have to heal. Luckily, we're going to have a companion in this fight. An unexpected companion, and you're going to see that shortly. But the basic strategy is to use the weak point card combo as soon as we can so that we can do as much damage as possible with ourselves as well as our secret companion. And it's completely up in the hands of RNG as to how it's going to go, so it's not really predictable. The fight could go fast, the fight could go slow, we could just die, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we leave it in the hands of the RNG wizards. Alright, so that's a good first hit. Our secret companion, as you can tell, is Fawkes the Phoenix. Fawkes works a little bit uniquely, so we can't just straight heal Fawkes with potions, unfortunately. There's not really a way to heal Fawkes at all, except for one other card combo we have that's called Healing Balm, which we might end up using, might not, depends on what we get. Alright, so he poisoned us that turn, which is why we get a couple antidotes. And we're actually going to let Fawkes do most of the damage here, because Fawkes can do between 90 and 100. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use the Healing Balm now. Because we're poisoned, so it counteracts poison damage, and it allows us to heal a little bit per turn. Which will be good to do for Fawkes here as well. So Fawkes can gain a little bit of health from that. It's the only way that we can heal Fawkes. So we gain a little bit of health there, as you can see. And him focusing on us is definitely not a bad thing. We want Fawkes to stay alive as long as we can, ideally the whole fight. We can only do 30 damage with our sword, and Fawkes can do, like I said, between 90 and 101 or 102 damage. So if he takes Fawkes down fast, we're going to be in real trouble. But luckily, it's going decently well for now. Ooh, good. That miss is good. Unfortunately, whenever we use the sword, it has a high probability to miss. I don't really know why, but it just has high probability. Oh boy, don't hit Fawkes. Please don't hit Fawkes. Please don't hit Fawkes. Okay. Okay. If Fawkes dies here, we could still make it work, but I'd rather him not hit Fawkes. Perfect. Alright, Fawkes is dead. Rather, Basilisk is dead. Okay, so time is coming up, but we have to mash through a bunch of text first. All we have to do is mash through text. There's nothing to explain here. That was the last fight of the game. So again, just want to shout out the Harry Potter handheld speedrunning Discord and community. Come join us, come hang out. We're a bunch of great people. If you're interested in learning this run, there's some great guides on the speedrun.com pages as well. I also run, as I mentioned before, the first game for Game Boy Color. There's actually a video on how to do the key tricks in the game, so that is also listed on the speedrun.com page if you're interested in learning either of those games. Thank you so much to ESA for letting me run in this event again, for letting me dress as Harry Potter again, because I love it. Thank you for everyone who donated for their houses. Maybe we can get a final count here after I hit time just to see what we end up as. Again, I'm going to donate $10 towards it myself. And I love ESA. I can't believe I got lucky enough to get to run with them again, and thank you guys for having me. Time is going to be coming up on the last text box clear in just 1 second. We just have to clear it with Malfoy's dad and Dobby here. So get ready on time. Alright, after Malfoy walks, we're going to be seconds away. And time. All right. So yeah, I already said all my shoutouts. My name's KonceptioN2. Feel free to follow me on Twitch or just message me if you have any questions. Do we have any other last-minute donations for houses?
Yes, we do. I will quickly blast through all these donations. We got a $5 donation from Barely Potter, who says, "No Jar Jar option? Justice for Jar Jar." Thanks for that. We got a $50 donation from Anonymous, who says, "Love what you guys are doing. My grandmother had dementia, and it left a huge scar on all of us, especially on my mother. It is eerie stuff, but with enough research, future generations may be spared the heartbreaks we went through. Enough of the sad stuff, though. Let's break some games, which is the absolute best thing to do in these crazy times." So yeah, thanks a lot. I feel like a lot of people have been through a similar thing. I have as well. So yeah, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, that's touching.
And then we got a final $20 donation from Agama, who says, 20 points to Hufflepuff.
Oh.
Let's give the house cup to who it belongs. So that leaves us with $10 for Ravenclaw, $10 plus 10, so that makes 20 for Gryffindor with yours, 20 for Slytherin, but then 46 for Hufflepuff at the end.
Wow. I didn't expect it. Hufflepuff didn't come out strong, but they ended strong, you know?
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Thank you for everyone who donated, and thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate it. Stick around for the next run.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And the next run is Secret of Evermore by Colin Bolts. So yeah, we will be right back with that run. Stay tuned.